Today we're gonna see the ultimate list of the top 10 adult fantasy books that you need to read this winter. These are gonna be either standalones or series that are just incredible for this season. Most of them has this environment that it's gloomy or it has ice magic. So get ready, because here we go. Starting with the standalones, we will begin with A Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This is this fairy tale kind of vibe. This is gonna be a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and it's gonna be pretty character driven. We will follow these different women throughout this journey, and along that way we will not only see how they need to face some personal and familiar drama, but also how they will grow. It is beautifully written, and at its core it has a soft magic system and also a chosen one and a little bit of a trials kind of vibe. And what I loved about this book is that it has this fairy tale touch to it, and it will follow the story of our girl who has gotten this reputation of being real good with money. She is in the business of lending money, and afterwards she needs to collect. She is able to turn everything into silver, and this gets into the ears of this frosty wintry king of the forest, and she will be forced to do a deal with Winterwood. This is a young adult story, but I really believe that it leans older, that it's perfect for older readers. We will follow a witch that is kind of like awakening her powers, and we will also have a magic, frosty, wintry, snowy forest, and a mystery at its core. There's gonna be a chosen one, but there's also gonna be a little bit of a slow burn, a little bit dark. There are some scenes that really turn dark real fast, and honestly it's super short and it has this great ambience. We'll follow our girl Nora. She is a witch that lives in this cabin, and her mom has told her all of her life that her line, it's the only ones that are able to go to this forest and retrieve elements from it. It seems that it's magical. And one night when she gets there, she will find a boy almost frozen to death. It seems that he was missing from this village and he does not remember anything. Babel by Arif Kwang. This is my current obsession, and I agree that this is not the most wintry, snowy book, but it has a dark academia, and it also has this touch that it's epic, but it's at a time like really deep. It's character driven, and it's a book that just screams for you to read it on a rainy day, on a cold day. It's that kind of book that will make you feel a lot of stuff. Really, I described this book to a friend as drinking wine. Like at the beginning you have the first glass and you're like, meh, I'm not sure if I like it. Then you might get another one because you're like, damn, this is not bad at all. And at the end you have this terrible hangover. And that really resumes my journey through Babel. We will see them moving through different stages of their lives, and the main topic is colonialism and how it changes and it fuels the different advances throughout the different countries. We'll tell the story of these different characters that are rescued or that are taken from the different countries and that are brought together to Oxford to Babel. We will mainly follow the story of our guy Robin, and he is from Canton, and we will see how this professor will kind of like save him. Therefore he will lend him this place at Babel, and when he gets there he will learn and he will meet other characters. Each one has these different languages that they are learning, that they're training, because in this world their magic, it's based on translation. And speaking about books that just want to embrace you and just drown you in the story, we have The Starless Sea. This follows a little bit the path of Babel, meaning it's gonna be pretty slow pace. It's not really character driven because it has this plot that intertwines. We will have stories within stories, so yeah, we will know our characters, but at times for me it was a little bit complex to connect. But this is a book that for those of you that click, just clicks so hard. Like it's the book that it's very meta, that you will think about the book, about what happens. It's a chosen one, a slow burn, growing up. There's also this path, this quest of solving a mystery. It's a soft magic system, and all this world, it's so descriptive. It's so beautiful. We'll follow our guy who has just discovered a book that tells the story of him when he was little, how him when he was a child found these door in a wall. This happened. He found that door. From that moment onwards, he will be obsessed with this concept, with this book, and with the story that unravels. He will try to find these different doors, and along that way he will go to a ball to find a mystery society. There's gonna be a lot to unpack, and the book that has ice magic, frosty setting, that it has an epic story at its core, it's character driven, it's The Sword of Kagan. This is again standalone, a little bit chunkier, and it has a little bit of a complex way to get into it, because one, it has this somewhat slow beginning, but then things really take off. The plot really, it's chef's kiss. It's a self-published book, and it's honestly one of my favorite books of all time, and I'll be damned if I don't recommend this to you. There's gonna be family drama. We will follow this family called the Matsudas. They are the ones leading this land called Kagan, and they are the last resort towards an invasion. And it seems that in this whole land they have been slowly but surely getting modernized, but not them. They still believed in the samurai ways, and therefore this is gonna be a feudal Japanese kind of world where they are still honing their ice magic, and we will see how a potential invasion is coming, and how the different characters, the different members of this family will have a role. We'll have the father, the mother, their sons, and honestly this is unforgettable. And let's move now to the series, because let's acknowledge this: when the winter comes, the cold creeps in, I just feel that the longer series give me comfort, that I have this place where I can lose myself and be there for a longer time. And we will start with The Bear and the Nightingale. This is the fantastically written story. I've just read the first one just yet, but I will pick the following ones now. And of course the ratings and the reviews of this series, outstanding. Has this descriptive way to it, and we will have this chosen one story, and at its core it's going to be a fight between different kinds of religion. It has also this fairy tale touch. It's slightly dark, like the creatures are described in a way that will grasp your heart, and it will tell the story of Argyle, who lives in this village where everyone is starting to forget, let's say, these forest gods, and as a result people, it's losing its contact with these creatures, and only Argyle is still able to talk with them. She will be warned that an incredible evil is emerging again from the forest, and she will try her best to stop this evil. And along that way she will also meet other almost god creature of the winter. We go to Shadow of the Gods, set in this Norse mythological ambience, so it's really wintry, and it really will give you all of these Viking vibes. It's a grim dark story. Things are gonna get dark a lot. It's really engaging. We will have these different points of view, and we will have this formula where first chapter one character, second other, then other, so you're always kind of like jumping back and forth. And this is a book that reads incredibly fast because the chapters are so small. In here we will follow three main points of view. One of them is of a mother that has just lost her son. It has been kidnapped, and she will do whatever it takes to track down these people and save her son. Then we have this noble woman that has forsaken her life, and she has enrolled herself in this band, killing monsters, killing these creatures, and trying to prove her worth. And the third one, it's going to be of this troll that has a very convulsive past, and he is also trying to seek a little bit of vengeance. Black Sun. This is set in the pre-Columbian Americas kind of civilization, and we will kick off with this winter solstice looming, and that winter solstice provokes something to our characters. It's gonna be a soft magic system, and it's gonna be kind of like a chosen one, a fated one, kind of a story blended with a lot of religion, of course, but also politics. And Black Sun will kick off with this event, this winter solstice that it's about to happen. We will run towards that event without really knowing what that event will unfold. Three main points of view. One of them is of this boy that believes himself to be really important for these people, and he wants to get into the city. And we also will have the point of view of a religious girl, and the third one is going to be of this sailor woman that has also a little bit of magic herself. She is in charge of bringing the first character to the city. The Lycanos trilogy with the first one, Shadow of What Was Lost. It is a chunky and so many things happen, but at the same time it's a very good blend between character and plot driven. But really the plot has a lot of threads. It has this touch where you know a lot at the beginning, but then you lose track of all the things and who is good, who is bad. There's a lot of playing with your mind. The magic here was so incredible. The stakes were incredibly high. We will follow the premise that in this world we have these magical creatures called the Augurus that were able to predict the future. Thing is, one day they started to not being able to predict it accurately and they lied. So people figured it out and long story short, they killed them. It seems though that there's people with a little bit of power similar to the Augurus, and what the society has done is to take all those people and kind of like not enslave but really control them, and they need to be trained and they need to pass a set of trials. And we will follow the story of our three main characters that are about to pass those trials, and one of them will have a little bit more power than it's expected. He cannot control it and he will trigger a set of events that will put him on the free and the whole world upside down. But we all know that we were coming here and we will have Mistborn Era 1 considered young adult, but at the same time I do feel this is also pretty amazing for adult readers. So what if the bad one were to rule and we were live in that aftermath? We will have this world that it's surrounded by ash and that it's really oppressed. The amazing thing of this book, beyond the charismatic characters and honestly the writing style, the endings, it's the magic system. We will have this hard magic system where our characters will be able to ingest metals. Each of these metals will have different powers, so they can almost fly, but they can also change emotions. And the story of Mistborn will begin with a thief, with a heist, but we will see how this story will evolve into a very world-breaking experience. We'll have this character that is kind of like recruiting different people to perform this heist and steal something from this Lord Ruler, this evil character. And what we will see is that this story will very soon turn into almost a revolution. There's going to be a lot of politics as well. And if you want to continue with adult fantasy books, knowing the Mother Mass, the Rising Stars, you really need to check out this video where I'll go to the top 20 best adult fantasy books